everyone, welcome back to our channel. Guys, something may have slipped out from behind the scenes, and it is sending absolute shockwaves through the rumor mill. We all know that the tension between Sonny Corinthos and Jen Sidwell has been escalating to a boiling point, but an unconfirmed piece of information has just surfaced that suggests the writers are about to pull off one of the most twisted narrative pivots in recent history. A rumor has been gaining traction regarding Ava, Jerome, Ethan Lovett, and the current state of their chaotic alliance. As we know, Ethan recently took a bullet to the backside. On the surface, the show has played this off with a slight edge of dark comedy, a humiliating injury for a guy who fancies himself a smooth operator. But there may be more going on here. A secret detail has leaked suggesting that this injury is not just a punchline. It is the catalyst for a massive, bloody trap. Someone behind the scenes is whispering that Ethan and Ava are currently forced into hiding, completely off the grid, and their vulnerability is about to be exploited in the most horrific way imaginable. I wasn't expecting this detail to surface so soon, but now that it has, it changes the entire complexion of the upcoming episodes. Everyone assumes that Jen Sidwell is currently playing defense. Most viewers believe that because he is a wanted fugitive, desperately trying to secure an escape route out of Port Charles with the reluctant help of Cassius Feign, he is just cowering in the shadows. The obvious explanation seems to be that Sidwell is terrified of Sonny Corinthos. After all, Sonny has been marching around town, discussing his lethal strategies with Rick Lansing, and making it abundantly clear that he intends to find Sidwell and put him in the ground, regardless of what Laura Collins or the PCPD might want. The general consensus among the audience is that it is only a matter of time before the legendary mob boss corners his prey. People think that Ava and Ethan are simply laying low, waiting for Ethan's embarrassing but debilitating wound to heal, while Sonny handles the heavy lifting of taking out the trash. We have been conditioned to believe that Sonny is the apex predator in this scenario, and Sidwell is merely a rat looking for a drain pipe to scurry into. But what if we are looking at this the wrong way? What if that wasn't the real reason Sidwell has been so quiet lately? The alternative story that is currently generating massive insider buzz suggests that Sidwell is not hiding from Sonny at all. He is actively hunting Ava and Ethan. Think about it from a tactical perspective. Ethan is currently nursing a gunshot wound. That kind of injury requires medical attention, bandages, antibiotics, and rest. It is a massive liability. If Ava and Ethan are forced to poke their heads out of their hiding spot to find an underground doctor or secure medical supplies, they leave a trail. And Sidwell is exactly the kind of predator who knows how to track a bleeding target. Furthermore, Ethan was supposed to be one of the key players supporting Sonny in this war. With Ethan sidelined and incapacitated, Sonny is essentially flying solo, stripped of a crucial layer of protection and operational support. What if this situation is being completely manipulated? The unconfirmed information suggests that Sidwell is about to flip the script, transitioning from a desperate fugitive into the mastermind of a proactive, deadly offensive strike against Sonny's weakened inner circle. If you ask me, there are a few ways this hidden agenda could play out, and each one is more intense than the last. That is one possibility, but let us break down a few different scenarios that are currently floating around the spoiler community. Scenario 1, the medical ambush. In this version of events, Sidwell uses his underground connections to monitor the black market doctors and shady clinics in the Port Charles area. He knows Ethan cannot go to General Hospital without alerting the authorities. The moment Ava reaches out for medical help for Ethan, Sidwell intercepts the communication. He allows a doctor to arrive at their dingy safe house, but he follows closely behind. Sidwell corners Ava and the wounded Ethan, using them as leverage. He forces Ava to call Sonny and beg for a rescue. When Sonny comes charging in, expecting to save his allies, he walks directly into a heavily fortified ambush with Sidwell's remaining mercenaries waiting in the rafters. It is a classic mob trap, utilizing Sonny's loyalty and protective instincts against him. Scenario 2, the Ava betrayal. We all know Ava Jerome has a PhD in self-preservation. She never wanted to be dragged into this mess by Ethan in the first place, and she certainly doesn't want to die for Sonny's vendetta. What if Sidwell bypasses the violence initially and offers Ava a devil's bargain? Rumor has it that Sidwell might locate their hideout, hold a gun to Ethan's head, and tell Ava that she can walk away completely free and clear if she serves Sonny up on a silver platter. Ava, looking at a bleeding Ethan and a heavily armed Sidwell, realizes the odds are impossible. She makes the agonizing decision to text Sonny a fake location, claiming it is a new, secure safe house. But in reality, it is a kill room designed by Sidwell. This scenario changes the entire dynamic, turning Ava back into the ultimate survivor who is willing to cross any line to ensure she lives to see another day, leaving Sonny completely blindsided by her betrayal. Scenario 3, the decoy slaughter. This theory is gaining a lot of traction among the more hardcore fans. What if Sidwell finds Ava and Ethan, but he doesn't use them as hostages? Instead, he quietly and brutally eliminates them both right there in their hiding spot. He takes their burner phones and begins texting Sonny, mimicking Ethan's speech patterns. He lures Sonny to an abandoned warehouse on the docks, making Sonny believe he is arriving for a strategic rendezvous. But when Sonny kicks down the door, he doesn't find Ava and Ethan. He finds a building rigged with explosives or a highly coordinated hit squad. Meanwhile, the PCPD discovers the actual bodies of Ava and Ethan across town. This would be a psychological torture tactic, proving to Sonny that he failed to protect his people while simultaneously ending his life. Every single one of these scenarios completely shifts the power balance, making the audience realize that Sidwell is playing chess while Sonny is still playing checkers. But there is a behind-the-scenes possibility that is currently dominating the insider buzz, and it is the most dangerous, haunting theory of them all. This is the one that will stick with you long after you hear it. What if Sidwell's ultimate goal isn't just to assassinate Sonny Corinthos, but to completely obliterate his legacy, his freedom, and his reputation in one single masterful stroke? Here is the boldest speculation making the rounds. Sidwell tracks down the exact undisclosed location where Ava and Ethan are hiding out. He infiltrates the safe house, but he doesn't just kill them. He orchestrates a meticulously staged crime scene. Sidwell executes Ethan and Ava, perhaps using a weapon that can be definitively traced back to Sonny's organization, or even a gun stolen directly from Sonny's personal armory. Then, using Ava's phone, Sidwell sends a frantic, desperate message to Sonny, begging for immediate help, claiming they are under attack. Sonny, acting on pure adrenaline and rage, rushes to the location. He bursts through the door, weapon drawn, only to find the bloody, lifeless bodies of Ava and Ethan on the floor. And that is exactly when Sidwell steps out of the shadows. But Sidwell doesn't just shoot Sonny in the back of the head. He shoots Sonny in a way that looks like a confrontation. And here is the absolute genius of this rumored trap. Sidwell immediately calls the PCPD. He contacts Detective Joe Fitzpatrick, or ADA Justine Turner, and he spins the most elaborate, devastating lie imaginable. Sidwell claims that he was seeking a peaceful resolution, that he followed Sonny to this location to negotiate a truce. But when he arrived, he witnessed a crazed, paranoid Sonny Corinthos murdering his own allies, Ava and Ethan, in cold blood. Sidwell will claim that Sonny had completely lost his mind, suspecting them of treason, and that Sidwell was forced to draw his own weapon and shoot Sonny strictly in self-defense to stop the madman from killing anyone else. Think about the sheer brilliance and cruelty of this plan. If this rumor holds true, Sidwell doesn't just eliminate his greatest rival, he completely rewrites history. By framing Sonny for the brutal murders of Ava and Ethan, Sidwell transforms himself in the eyes of the law from a dangerous, wanted fugitive into a tragic hero, a man who stepped up to stop a deranged mob boss from continuing a bloody rampage. A cleverly staged crime scene, a few calculated statements, and perfectly planted evidence could make this entire nightmare incredibly difficult for the Port Charles Police Department to unravel. Sonny wouldn't just be fighting for his life as he bleeds out on the floor. If he survives the gunshot, he will wake up handcuffed to a hospital bed, facing double homicide charges for the deaths of his own people. He would have to fight to prove his innocence against a conspiracy that was prepared long before he even walked through the door. It is a move that is both ruthlessly violent and intellectually terrifying. I keep wondering whether the writers are actually going to pull the trigger on a storyline this dark. It would require a massive shift in the narrative and would put Sonny in a more vulnerable, desperate position than we have seen in decades. Nothing is confirmed yet, and this remains purely in the realm of unconfirmed information and insider speculation. But you have to admit, it fits Jen Sidwell's psychological profile perfectly. He is not a street thug. He is a strategist. Something about this feels hidden just beneath the surface of the current scripts. Will Sidwell actually succeed in framing Sonny for the murders of Ava and Ethan? Will Ethan's gunshot wound truly be the fatal flaw that brings down the Corinthos Empire? We don't have the answers yet. This could be exactly what happens. Or it could just be a wild rumor cooked up by a brilliant insider. But one thing is for sure, there is definitely more to this story that hasn't been told yet, and when the truth finally comes to light, Port Charles is going to run red.
Goodbye. Please like, subscribe, and comment on the GH Spoilers Daily channel.